You guys, here, let's shrink everybody down.
Oh, we got the teeny tiny grid today, I see.
Whoop. You find this shack right where this Kraken priest suggested it was. And it's just this dilapidated little shack. The roof is mostly caved in. And after some searching, you do find a trap door in the floorboards that are... Most of the wood in the area is rotted through and it's coming apart and it's maggoty and infested with termites and things. But you do find part of the floor that looks more relatively new. There's still a rotting, sodden kind of rug thrown in the area. I say rug, it's just kind of a nasty old bolt of cloth. But underneath it, you find a part where the trap door is in the floor, and this is relatively newer construction. This door was placed here with some purpose. And opening it up, it opens up into a hole, a circular hole made of brick, stone brick, going down into the darkness. And there's no ladder that you can see. It's just a hole.
I mean, we have rope.
It's just a hole. Is there a, so it's just a circular hole just kind of descending?
Yes.
How big is the hole?
It's big enough that you guys can fall down it comfortably.
I'll hop down it.
You hop down?
Yeah.
And there's a splash after about 20 feet. You land in a grungy stone basement. So actually, Wendy's the only one down here.
Yep.
There's about an inch or so of fetid water on the floor, and the stone walls are slick with slime and muck. The eastern wall, you can feel a noticeable chill emanating from it. The rest of you watch Wendy hop down this hole, and you hear her splash in the water about 20 feet below.
All right, and I'll run back up the wall. And I'll say, it's about 20 feet down. It's filled with water, but I think it's safe enough.
Adrex points at Gwu and says, "You stay put," and jumps down the hole.
Alright. Wendy, like, puts her hands in front of Adrex. Says, alright, I jump down the hole. It's about 20 feet down. Don't jump down the hole. Let's get a rope.
Gwu looks a little...
Alright, it's mine.
Gwu looks a little smug at Adrex.
I'll push you down the hole.
Easy there, Proby.
Where can we set up a rope? We're in like a dilapidated shack, right? Is there like a stone that we can...
You could probably anchor it.
Not that you trust as an anchor with a rope. I mean...
We have pythons. Nail them in the ground.
Yeah, it's probably your best bet.
I think that's our best bet, yeah.
Like, you wouldn't trust any of the walls of this shack to bear your weight.
Gwu steps forward and moves to make place the trapdoor back down very quietly.
Okay.
And then looks to whoever's digging up the pythons to hammer it in there.
Okay. You get your rope attached to this climbing spike.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to do it. I'm delicate.
What's next?
Brett will shimmy down the rope.
You shimmy down into this basement. You've got dark vision, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. And down here you do see the wreckage of a rotted wooden ladder that's laying in the inch or so of water on the ground. It looks like it was just leaned up against this wall for many years and it just eventually rotted through and gave way. Looks like it collapsed recently.
Are there any exits to this room? Any doors?
Not that you can tell. Just 4 stone walls. Just a little basement underneath this shack.
Obvious exits are up.
Did the guy say anything about how to get through this part of it into the next section, other than the trapdoor?
He didn't say anything except the location of the shack, and that underneath it was a series of caves, and the Kraken temple was constructed underneath those caves.
Can I do an investigate to go around the walls slowly and see if I can find any hidden doorways or
As you go around the walls, I mean, the walls are slick with muck. There's very muddy down here. In fact, you can feel you have stone floor underneath you, but there's also a layer of mud that you're kind of having to pay attention to keep your footing. And the eastern wall feels slimier than usual. And it feels cold. You can feel this chill emanating from it. And that's what you get for investigating going around the perimeter of the walls. Adrex thinks that's really funny.
No. Adrex says, "Can I come down now?"
You'll need a torch.
Ugh.
Also, there's no obvious exits to this room.
Glue shushes at Adrex.
Is this
Adrex
going to
likes
end with
torch.
arm wrestling?
I think I still have torches. Should still have
Glue,
torches.
Glue lights a torch.
I do have a torch.
Adrex goes to light a torch, and Glue beats him to it.
I miss
I just-
Raazu.
I just picture at the end of this, they're like 20 years from now, Raazu and Ghoul will meet each other, and they'll be like, "You son of a bitch," and they'll do that thing from Commando with their arms like flex, and they grab each other's hands.
You realize Razu's dead, right? She's not meeting anybody.
I mean,
Yeah.
Glue and Adrex. I'm pretty sure I said Glue and Adrex.
Nah, you said Raazu.
You did say Raazu.
They're basically the same person, right?
Sure.
No!
So
Who
what's
hasn't
next?
whipped you yet?
Very key
Oh.
difference.
I do have Raazu's whip. I gotta remember that.
Can I take some tools out of my thieves toolkit and start scraping the mud off this wall that feels different? See if I can get any. Is it feasible at all to clear the mud from it?
Thieves' tools wouldn't be the right tool for the job. If you had a length of cloth or something, you could start wiping the mud away. And it just reveals the stone underneath this layer of slime and grime.
I am marking.
Is it work stone or is it a natural cave wall?
It's bricks. Stone bricks. So there's layers of mortar in between each row. They look pretty regular shaped, not just kind of haphazard stones mortared together.
I'll investigate the mortar, see if any of it looks fresh, using my masonry proficiency.
No, this basement is ancient. This has been here for hundreds and hundreds of years, probably.
So none of it looks like these bricks all look like they've been here forever. We've just been duped.
They what?
I say these bricks all look like they've been here forever. It seems like we've been duped. There's no cave system.
Maybe there's something below us.
Maybe it's all of the other walls instead of this wall. Because I just
Right.
noticed it was different.
Oh, I'm checking all the walls.
Okay, and you pretty much learn what Red did. The walls are layered with mud and grime. They're damp to the touch, and the eastern wall where Red is standing is slimier than most, and it has a noticeable chill emanating from it.
All right, yeah, and I'll just say to Red, like, either we've been fooled because these bricks have all been here for a good amount of time, or there's some way to move the bricks using magic. In which case, the bricks have been here forever, but there's a way to open up a path anyway.
Adrix, they're down
Oh,
to
you know,
talking
I
magic
do-
shit now.
I do actually think I know that spell. It's called Crowbar. And I'll pull my crowbar off my pack and pry out one of the bricks.
And
the
which
eastern wall? Eastern wall.
Okay. And as you start to work the mortar, the crowbar dips into the wall, like you're pushing it through something solid but malleable.
That's a good spell.
And
Nice
now the
work,
tip of
Red.
your crowbar is kind of half stuck inside the wall. Like if you let go of it, it would dangle there.
I have a shovel.
Pull the
Like,
crowbar
shovel
back.
it.
Pull the crowbar back and just slam the sharp end into it.
Okay.
Does it like just go through easily, or
Not only does it go through easily, but you feel it's not like you're pushing through stone or even mortar. It's like you're pushing through a very thick gelatin, as though somebody has dumped hundreds of pounds of gummy bears into this wall.
Or some sort of gelatinous cube.
Red, did you just pop our wall?
It's not punctured. It's just you can push through it.
My immediate concern is we have to walk through it. I can't tell from the
reaches
crowbar what's
out.
on the other side.
Reaches out with his furry arm and tries to push his arm through it.
And with some work, you see your hand sink into the wall. And how deep do you push your arm in?
Up to my shoulder.
And it goes all the way to Gru's shoulder, so his chest and head are flush with the wall. And Gru, you can feel the material of the wall. It still feels like stone to the touch, but it's parting as you push through it. And you've got these long, lanky arms.
Yeah.
And you can also kind of feel the stone tugging at you a little bit on your wrists and your hand and your forearm.
Does it feel like it's like there's anything going up to the tips of my fingers, basically? Because Gu does have 10-foot reach.
Is it gross? Is it
10-foot reach
gross?
with a weapon.
That's true, yeah. Yeah, but you know, it does feel gross and kind of weird at the same time.
It feels like it would take some effort to pull your arm back out from this depth.
Alright, I'll push
Alright.
my way through.
Gru shrugs and says to hell with it, and
Yeah, I'm pushing my way through.
And with some effort, Windy and Gru both kind of push their way and disappear into this wall.
Well, I was going to suggest tying a rope to your waist first, but some people let it go and be overly...
And Windy and
Aggressive
Gru,
about
there's a
it.
solid wall all around you, so you don't hear Red say that. Although it was an excellent idea.
I mean, let's just be honest. We're imagining it.
push forward until we can't push forward no more, is what I say.
Like Wendy hears in her head Red's voice saying, "Wendy, come back! I want to put a rope around you so you can't run as fast."
Are Adrex and Birdie even down in the hole yet?
No one told Adrex to come down, so no.
Yeah, I'm standing up there because I'm afraid that the water will be a little too high for me.
Gru, you're holding a
Red,
torch,
can I come
right?
down now?
Yes! For God's
Alright.
sake, Adrex, did you only do things when Raazu told you when she was alive?
Hop
Gru,
on,
your torch is snuffed out, by the way.
Yeah.
hop on Adrix's shoulders because I don't want to stand in the water.
It's
Figured
pretty
as
gross
much.
water.
Well, it's probably also like neck high.
No, there's
Well,
only
they
an
just
inch or so of it on the ground.
Well, the other two just walked into the wall, so... That
Why are they
happened.
walking into the wall?
Well, there's no other obvious way through here. I just would have preferred if they had, put a rope around their waist, told us how long they could hold their breath, and we pulled them back after half that time.
Incidentally, you can
Very
hold your
good.
breath for
No one
1
asked
minute
me.
plus your constitution modifier in rounds.
So, question:
First adventure, Razu's not here, and we're walking into walls.
did the wall eat them? This is very important to my interests.
And I'll put my hand into the wall to illustrate.
You just watch Red's hand disappear into this wall, then with some effort he manages to pull it back out.
Frick, have we
Is
found
the-
another side yet?
Maybe. Good question.
Did you say that it feels like the wall is tugging? Do I get that same sense?
You don't, if you just push your
Okay.
hand in and then pull it back out.
All right. Well, Birdie ties a rope around his waist and then runs straight at the wall.
Oh, come on!
When you run into the wall, I mean, you just kind of crash into it and fall over. You actually have to push in with some effort. This isn't the Harry Potter train station situation.
So it's a non-Newtonian fluid.
Right. It's an oobleck wall.
Does Birdie make a wet slapping sound as he runs into the wall?
No, it sounds like you ran into a stone wall.
Okay.
Well, there is water. You are like ankle deep in water, so imagine there is some wet slapping sounding.
Just laying backwards in the cold, nasty water.
Alright, Adrix, how long can you hold your breath?
It's 1 minute plus...
Plus
what
your
was it, con
constitution
score?
modifier, minimum of 1.
Plus my constitution modifier. 4 minutes.
So,
Alright, so after 2 minutes, we'll start pulling unless you tug on the rope to let us know not to.
All right.
All right, you push your way into this wall, and Adrex disappears through the wall. Gwu, make a strength check.
I am good at those. 23.
23. Pushing through this wall, you reach a point, and you're not sure how deep in you've gone, but you reach a point where the wall is putting up more and more resistance, as though it's grabbing you and holding you there. And it takes a great more strength to get through the second half of the wall than it did to get into the first half.
Okay.
And sorry, I didn't have my map on screen. I still had the Kovnos on screen here.
Oops.
After a few moments, you push your way into this tiny room marked number 2. In this room, there's a stone wall with no observable handle, which is set into the, a stone door with no observable handle in the eastern wall here. Adorning the stone in polished mosaic tiles, you see a large pattern, the shape of which resembles a kraken's writhing tentacles. Did Gwu ever actually see the relic that got pulled off of the Nixie?
No, probably not.
Okay.
Well, bugbears don't have dark vision, I don't think. So.
In that case, you don't see anything.
Yeah, so. Oh, no, I do 60 feet. Yeah, 60
I
feet of
thought
dark
they did.
vision. But Gwu would still make to light another torch. Or relight his torch. Can he relight his torch, or is he going to have to.
Yeah, you can relight it.
Okay, then that's what I'll do.
Slumped into the corner of the room, you see a robed man with a broken leg on the ground. And when he sees Gwu push through the wall, he pulls out this dagger in his left hand. You can see that he's been recently injured. And this dagger he's holding is this strange metal that doesn't glint in your torchlight. It's as though the light doesn't fall on the material. And he holds it out towards you, and he insists, "Who are you? What are you doing here?"
Gwu grins, hefts his great axe, says, he didn't say anything. He just holds out his great axe like, bitch, try something.
Windy, roll a strength check.
I am not good at these. But I do have a lot of constitution, which might become relevant. 2.
2. You get halfway in this wall, and it just encloses around you. And you reach a point where you literally can't push any further. It's like you're just entombed inside of the structure. Take 1 point of acid damage, and you begin suffocating immediately. How long can you hold your breath?
4 minutes.
4 minutes. At the end of 4 minutes, your HP drops to 0. The next one through was... Well, Gwu, you didn't know Windy came in after you. As far as you know,
No.
you're the only one who went through.
And now he's got his great axe in one hand, pointing it down at the guy, and says, bitch, try something.
Okay. Birdie, make a strength check.
Okay.
Birdie didn't go through though.
Oh, Adrex went through.
Yeah.
Adrex,
Yeah,
make a
Adrex.
strength check. I thought Birdie... Oh, Birdie just crashed into the wall.
Yeah,
Okay. That was funny. I enjoyed that.
we all did.
Just a strength check, huh?
Mhm.
It is a 16.
16. And just like Gwu, you have difficulty getting to the second half, but you do manage to push through the wall. And Gwu is standing there hefting his great axe in one hand and holding a lit torch in the other. And you see this Kraken cultist with a broken leg holding this dagger out. His hands are noticeably shaking. Windy, take another
Hey.
point of acid damage.
Uh,
You guys back in room number 1. Adrex disappears and the rope snakes through.
Yeah, we've got another. It's 2 minutes before we start trying to pull him back,
So you're waiting for 2 minutes before pulling Adrex back. Adrex, what are you
or
doing?
until he yanks on the rope to let us know that he's through.
Yeah, Adrex will yank on the rope.
Okay.
Ding ding.
And I mean, there's not going to be any motion on the other side of it because you got this gelatinous stone wall between you. And
All
right
right.
after Adrex disappears in the wall, you realize that, yeah, even if he yanks on that rope, we're not going to really know it. Because the wall is holding the rope solid on this side.
Adrex will untie the rope.
Okay.
That way, when they pull on the rope and there's no Adrex at the end of it.
So you
They'll
guys,
never come
in
through.
room number 1, you're not doing anything for 2 minutes? Is that correct?
What do you think, Birdie?
I don't know. It seems suspiciously like getting eaten. I don't trust it.
It doesn't look like we're going to be able to see if he pulls on the rope, so do we pull him back out? I mean, we don't even know how deep this is. Let's try and pull him out.
Okay. Pull the rope.
And how long do you wait before you do this?
Pretty much, maybe half a minute.
Okay, about 30 seconds. And it takes some doing because you're pulling this rope through this wall, and it's very difficult. But Adrex, you eventually see the rope vanish back into the wall, and you guys on the other side, you pull through the empty rope. There is some evidence that something acidic was starting to eat through the binds of the rope. By the way, Wendy, take 1 more point of acid damage.
Huh?
But it looks like it was untied. It wasn't cut or burned or dissolved.
That's the same amount of rope, so I guess he untied it. Okay, Birdie. Here's my idea. I'll go through with the rope. You tie it to your waist, and then if you get stuck, we can pull you through on the other side.
I like this plan.
Okay. Are you guys, Adrex and Gu, what are you doing with this priest? He's trying to be menacing with his weird-looking dagger, but he can't stand or even really move much.
Who is having none of it, and just he is very amused by this, by the stones on this guy.
What's Adrex doing?
What's your story, Kraken Priest?
He tells you that he hasn't had to speak to the likes of you.
Wrong answer, buddy.
Don't. No.
All right, we'll fucking do it your way.
Good cop, bad cop.
Listen. Either you talk to us, or what's his face over here is gonna chop you down. And I think it's in your best interest to talk to us.
And he says, and he sneers a little bit when he says, "Chop me down, Willie. If you cut the tentacle off of a Kraken, 2 more grow back in its place." Red, make a strength check.
Yep.
Who rolls his eyes?
18?
18, and same sensation. You have much more difficulty pushing through the second half of this wall. And you're carrying the rope as you come through, and you realize, first of all, you realize Wendy's not standing in this room. Wendy, take another point of acid damage.
Where's Wendy? She went through before Adrex did.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck if I know.
Birdie, how long do you
Ooh,
wait before you start into the
alright.
wall?
We can pull Birdie through with this. It's tied to him. Give me a hand, Adrex.
All right.
Like, as soon as I
I
start
pull on this. You talk to Kraken Priest over there because he's not. Use some poison.
Figure
on him
something
or
out about
get him
Wendy.
Talk.
Yeah.
I'll just push through a few seconds after Red.
Okay, make a strength check.
Adrex yanks on the rope.
A 9.
Yeah, you get stuck. Who's pulling on the rope on the other side that Birdie has?
Adrex.
Just
Adrex.
Adrex?
Yeah.
Adrex, make a strength check.
$17.
Birdie, you get stuck in the wall and take 1 point of acid damage. And before you have a chance to start panicking, you feel a tugging motion where the rope is secured. And after a few moments, Adrex fishes you out of the wall on the other side. Everybody's here but Wendy. Wendy, go ahead and take another point of acid damage.
All right. I gotta go in and see if I can find Wendy.
Alright, here, I'll tie the rope to you. You, after a minute, I'll pull you back out.
All right. Sounds good.
What? Wait. Let me go in and grab Wendy, because
You don't have the strength.
All I can do is hold on to her while you pull.
Can
Alright.
You don't have the strength.
Adrex pushes his way back into the wall
Okay.
for the explosive purpose.
And
of burning
I'll
the
tell
wall.
him where Windy went through to point out that part of the wall.
Adrex,
Yeah.
make a perception check.
Uh-oh.
Hmm.
Spaghettios.
All right. 19.
Your eyes and ears are not going to avail you in the darkness of this wall, so you push your way back into the point where you feel the wall grab onto you, and you start moving your arms out and fanning in a pattern, and you eventually find a handful of feathers.
Adrex will grab on.
Okay? Make a strength check.
Oh, look at that. Look at that beautiful one.
This is not the roll you wanted to get a 1 on.
It's fine. I got blips.
Okay.
It's whatever.
It's whatever.
I mean, it's just 15.
And after, Windy, after 2 agonizing minutes entombed in this wall, you feel Adrex's grip. And you feel yourself moving forward. Both of you, Windy and Adrex, take 1 final point of acid damage. As the Dragonborn pulls her through the wall at last. Into the room with this injured cultist.
This is why we go places I can fly to.
Windy, I was
Why
going
do
to
we
suggest.
keep finding new types of horrible ground?
Like, okay, first of all, you brought us here.
I mean, I was going to suggest tying the rope around your waist the first time anyway, so we could pull you back out if that happened. I'm glad you're alive.
Who's that?
And the priest, the cultist, says none of you will be alive for long.
Has he just been sitting there making ominous kind of gestures this whole time?
Yes.
Gru hefts his axe and is ready to chop this guy down.
And when that
Apparently,
happens, the guy gets a very stoic look on his face, and he lifts his head as high as he can, and he closes his eyes, waiting for the blow.
Apparently, if we cut him in half.
4.
No,
Just leave
stop.
him.
Stop. No. No.
Yeah, what was that, Adrex?
Put the axe down.
Apparently,
He does not. But he's staring at Adrex.
And Red will move between him and the priest.
Last fucking chance, Dragon Man.
last chance for what? There's 4 of us! We'll kick the shit out of you! Calm down! Jesus Christ, you don't have to be full aggro all the time!
Who's Jesus Christ?
Fantasy Jesus Christ! You don't have to be full aggro all the time! Adrex, what was that about cutting him in half?
Apparently, if we cut him in half, 2 more will spawn in his place.
And Wenji just looks at him, just frustrated. That's Hydras!
Don't look at me!
Not
He
even
said it!
Krakens!
He said it!
Has anyone tried the door yet?
Door has no obvious handle on it.
Birdie's gonna push on the door.
Okay. Roll a d6. Well, let me ask you this, because the door has these polished mosaic tiles set into it. Are you pushing on a stone part of the door or pushing on the tiles?
I'm just pushing on like the center of the door, like about.
Are you placing your hands on the stone of the door, or are you placing your hands on the polished tiles?
I guess.
The polished tiles are shinier.
Yeah, the polished tiles are shinier. Thank you.
I mean, they're no less grimier than all the other stone. Yeah, roll a d6.
A 6.
A 6.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
You put your hands on one of the tiles and begin pushing the door. And when you do, you catch in the torchlight. The tile that you're touching takes on a sickly green tint. And a small quantity of fetid water leaks out of the tile onto your hands and runs down your arms. And no, the door does not budge when you push on it.
Red's gonna grab Birdie by the scruff of the neck. Search for traps.
Search for traps on the door?
Yeah.
Roll an Arcana check. What are you doing to search? Like, what are you physically doing?
Taking out wire and a piece of wood from my use toolkit and running around probing between the edges of the cracks without actually touching anything, seeing if there's any obvious, if there's any non-obvious places where there's like a lever that would connect two tiles that if you push on one, it might trigger something below it.
Okay.
The Arcana would be a 6, I think.
I would like to assist if I can.
Yeah, I'd allow that. You're both rogueliness.
That's why we have 2 rogues. We have a spare.
Still 6.
Okay. You find that the tiles are placed in the door, but with some effort you would be able to pry them loose. And as you touch them, whether with your tools or with a length of wire or whatever, especially with your tools, because you said you're using your tools and then you also have this plank of wood, you get a mild reaction from the wood, kind of like Birdie just got. But when you touch it with metal, the tile very clearly takes on a particular color. And you... How many times do you try this over the course of gaining?
How many tiles are there?
Dozens.
Probably 2 or 3.
Okay. Roll 3d6.
We've got a 2, a 2, and a 3.
The first and second tiles that you touch and try with your tools take on a deep blue hue, and they cause a quantity of harmless frost to form. So like your tool kind of ices over, and then it kind of takes a little bit of effort to pry it loose. The third one you try turns black. And what's your armor class?
17.
17. And it forms a fleshy tentacle, like an octopus's tentacle. Lunges out from the tile and tries to wrap itself around your arm, but you deftly move out of the way. And when this happens, the cultist on the floor chuckles to himself. He finds this very funny.
Look,
Hand me
Doc,
his,
he ain't
hand
gonna
me his
fucking
weird dagger.
Like,
Look,
Does
Doc,
anybody
he
have
ain't gonna fucking talk. He's of no use to us alive.
I'll kick the dagger out of his hand.
Roll initiative.
Got it.
You really don't have to roll high on this.
Don't doubt the power of Adrex to be contrarian.
Yep. Clues on a 4. There.
Birdie, you see Wendy step forth to kick this dagger out of the cultist's hands. Do you do anything or just watch it happen?
no, it's fine. Seems like a plan.
Adrex, same question.
Yeah. We'll let Wendy kick it out of his hand.
Okay. Wendy, what are you doing?
I'm going to blow some nice wind all over his face, and then kick his dagger out of his hand.
Okay. That's I believe it's just a to-hit roll.
Alright. Roll that die off the table. It's a 24.
24. And as he scarcely has time to register that you're coming over to kick him before he feels this blast of wind billowing in his face. And you see him try to lunge with his dagger, but you kick it, and it skitters to the floor next to him. And he immediately reaches in the folds of his robes and draws out a regular dagger, just a standard kind like Red carries.
Oh.
Moving or staying put?
I kick the second dagger out of his hand.
Okay.
How many daggers you got, buddy? 24 again.
24. And he pulls out the second dagger, and you kick that one too, and it clatters to the ground.
I mean, Red's got 7, so we could be here a while.
And by this point, Wendy just has this exasperated look on her face, like everyone's got to be a jackass today. Apparently,
He does not pull a third dagger. What do you do?
I'm just gonna pick up the 2 daggers and bring them over to Red.
Okay. And yeah, Red, Wendy delivers these 2 daggers to you.
I'm gonna tap the dagger made of the unusual metal against one of these tiles.
Which one?
The one that did not turn black, one of the blue ones.
Okay, and the same thing happens when you touch the metal of the dagger to it. A small quantity of frost forms on the tile and on the tip of the dagger where it's touching, and then you have to kind of wrench it free.
Frick, what was the other color? I realize Wendy does not
Green
know.
was water, and
Thank
black
you.
was tentacle.
So
Yeah,
far,
I
you've
got the-
seen blue, green, and black.
Well, at that, Red will just start tapping random tiles until he finds all 6 colors.
Okay, and you only find those 3 colors. Let's see how many tentacles grab you. One of these tentacles does lash out from a black tile and wrap itself around your arm, and you find yourself grappled there.
Mhm.
Keep tapping tiles?
No, I'll use my action to escape in that case.
Okay. Make that check.
It's an acrobatics of 14.
Is that enough? It is not. As you try to slip the thing's grip, its suckers grab onto your arm, and you find yourself unable to escape its grasp. And the cultist, though he is now disarmed, is still chuckling at the sight of it.
How'd you injure yourself? Adrex wants to look at his broken leg.
Whose turn is it?
Oh, we're not on initiative anymore. Nobody's attacking this guy anymore.
Okay.
Can I slice that tentacle off
Guu's
Red?
about to. Guu's about to.
Oh, Gwu is going to put him down?
If he's gonna look at Adrex and says, "Last fucking chance, Doc."
Adrix, he just called you a dog.
Doc.
Oh. Adrix, well, I guess you are a doc, so.
How'd you injure the leg? And Adrex wants to... see
And he
the
tells you
broken
the
leg.
ladder collapsed out from underneath him when he was climbing down it.
Good fucking job.
Birdie turns around and says, "That's enough out of you. There's only one insensitive asshole in this group, and she died." No
Fuck off.
no self-awareness whatsoever.
Fuck off, little man.
I will kick those hand axes out of your hand. It's gonna be a no weapon free day.
Red, examining these daggers, though. Oh, when
Yeah.
you said you're chopping the tentacle and freeing Red?
Yeah.
And that's easy enough. I mean, you slice through it, and, I mean, it writhes and wiggles for a second, but the severed tentacle is drawn back into the door. Red finds yourself free. One of the daggers is just a standard dagger like you've seen a million of over your life. The other one, it's uncomfortable to even hold. Did Red ever get a good look to examine the holy symbol from the Nixie?
No, I don't think he did.
Okay. It's a solid black. It feels like it could be iron, and it leaves a black residue on your fingers. There's no pommel, there's no grip, it's just solid metal.
Is there any point on the door that this might be like inserted?
No,
Are
not
there
that
any
you can
slots
see.
or anything like that? Okay.
Adrex pulls out his healer's kit
Okay.
and shows it, displays it in front of the cultist.
And he looks at it for a moment, and then looks back at you, and he motions with his head to the bugbear. He says, "I reject your mercy if you're only going to kill me anyway."
Nobody is going to kill anybody right now. All right?
He says, "Oh, you're wrong about that, friend."
Birdie says, "All right, that's it," and he jumps on the cultist and starts rifling through his clothes.
Okay. Make a either strength athletics or dex acrobatics.
We don't do well when we're underground places, are we? Do we?
Listen, the ground is bullshit, and now we've got double ground.
Oh, that's a 10.
A 10?
Yeah.
And, I mean, you try to... Like, he's fighting with you. Both of his arms still work. And he does eventually get a grip on you, and he flings you to the ground in front of him. And you don't manage to find anything on his person.
Gru watches this nonsense, then looks to Adrex and says, how the fuck did you guys get anything done?
So there's, aside from the tiles, there's also the tentacles. Are those not tiled? Or those are something else?
No, the whole shape and structure of the Kraken symbol is made up of these mosaic tiles.
Okay.
They're just
Is there any
set
kind of
into
pattern
little recesses in the stone of the door.
I'm going to start probing those recesses with the dagger, the special one.
Okay, are you trying to avoid those tiles you know are black so you don't get retentacled?
Yeah, why not?
And with some doing, you do manage to get the dagger behind one of these mosaic tiles and pop it out of the door, and it comes out. And there's just a recess there where it just slots into. There's not like a hole or anything behind it. But this is something you could have done with any tools or any dagger.
Okay. Does the tile itself still produce water or frost when tapped?
No, once it comes out of the door, it stops doing that.
And if I tap the special dagger into where the tile was on the door, does anything happen?
You tap the stone in the back of the recess where the tile just was, and there's no reaction at all.
I'll start removing all the black tiles.
Okay. Is anybody going to help him to chop off tentacles when he inevitably gets grabbed again?
Yeah, I'll stand there to tentacle chop.
Okay.
I'm gonna.
Red, there are dozens of these little tiles in the door, and you find lots and lots of blue and green ones. However, you only find... I want to get this right. Let me go to my notes. Eight of these black plates. And every so often, the tentacle shoots out and grabs your arm, and Wendy chops it off. But with some work, you do manage to get them off. And behind each of them is just the stone recess. But behind one of them is what looks like a smoldering, hot lump of flesh. Just in this little tiny, maybe baseball-sized alcove in the door. Just smoldering away.
Birdie, I need your expert magical opinion on something.
Okay.
Does this suck or what? Yeah, that sucks.
What do you think? Sharp thing goes in the fleshy bits? That's what I usually do.
I think you should take the black dagger dripping with black substance and stick it in there, yeah.
Birdie, make an Arcana check before you suggest that.
That is a 27.
A 27? It looks to you that this smoldering lump is powering whatever magics are on the door, and if you destroy it, you're not sure that the magics barring the door will allow you to open it.
Oh.
You also look at where the black tiles were, and there are 8 places. Has Birdie seen or examined the relic before?
I've seen it, but I didn't get a chance to examine it.
The relic is flat. And it had a mass of tentacles, and you're pretty sure it's this same shape. And looking at the shape of the mosaic on this door, excuse me, and the position of the black tentacles, or the black plates in the mosaic, with a 27 on your Arcana, you're pretty sure that relic is a key to open this door. If you touch the tentacles of the relic to the black plates of the door, it will open.
Birdie will say that, and then he'll point at the guy on the ground there, and he goes, and he has to have a key if he wants to get inside. And then, like, Adrex, can you go through his pockets?
He might not have a key because he's not inside.
I mean, he
But-
broke his...
But here's my argument. Those tentacles are going off no matter what. All we need are 8 daggers. And I'll turn towards Red.
Just enough.
So the two of you Frankenstein this situation together where you try to tap.
Yeah.
Do you put the black plates back in place first?
Yeah, I think that makes the most sense.
Well, each of you can place 2 daggers, and that's 4.
3. I have a mouth.
I can help.
And I'm a monk.
Okay.
That should be worth 6.
Wendy, what's your AC?
18.
Red, I rolled 2 20s against you, man.
We'll get out of
Wendy,
it.
you are grappled by one of the tentacles.
Okay.
Red, you are grappled by 2 tentacles. You are restrained. And Birdie, you are grappled by no tentacles, as you manage to touch the daggers to these black plates, and the door does not open.
Did we do it? Did we do it such that we think we did a pretty good job hitting them at the same time?
You're pretty sure, and now there are tentacles all over you and your companions.
Well,
Alright.
how about this? Alternate plan. We cut the tentacles off, tie them in a ball, and shove that into the thing. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely cutting these tentacles off.
Okay.
And
Red,
we'll try that again.
You're freed from the restraints of the door. Meanwhile, Adrex and Glue. Anything? You're just...
You gonna toss this guy for a key?
Yeah, alright. Adrex picks up the guy.
And he
Shakes.
winces in pain as his broken leg moves underneath him and just dangles there. You're shaking him down?
Yeah.
He was sitting on the ground. As soon as you pick him bodily up off the ground, you see a relic similar to the one you found on the Blue Nixie that looks like it's made out of the same material as that and the dagger he was carrying.
Glue
Found
scoops
it.
it up.
Glue
Nope.
scoops it up and gets the black residue on his hands.
Glue tosses it toward Red.
Hmm.
And now it looks like your usefulness to us is at an end. Looks at the guy.
And once again, he just gets this sour look on his face and he closes his eyes and waits for the blow.
5, 4.
Why are you so
3.
eager to kill things?
I don't understand the question.
Yes, you do.
Because he's a fucking cultist trying to do a pin job on our fucking captain.
Okay, listen. You really annoy me, but you're clearly loyal to the captain, right? So here's the thing. We're trying to get the captain off, and I'm not 100% certain we're going to do a good job of proving that whatever nightmare magic is going on in here is what caused the wave. But we have someone who can speak up for his defense, and I'll nudge the guy sitting on the ground,
And he winces in pain once again.
in exchange
Yeah.
for us not killing him.
I mean, we should bring him. We can bring him back and turn him into the council at least as evidence.
Okay,
It's not like he's
fine.
going anywhere else on his own right now.
Okay, fine.
Birdie raises his hand and says, I would like to point out they will probably kill him when you do that. You know that, right?
Do you think
I'm
it's
fine.
wrong to kill him for being part of the group that caused that wave and killed however many people?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that.
X. And I'll put the key against the black tiles and turn it.
And it takes a minute to figure out how this configuration goes, but you find a way where the 8 tentacles on the relic touch the 8 black tiles on the door, and you hear it creak and groan and begin to slide sideways into the wall.
Offer
Glue
still stands. Yeah,
fishes out a set of
he was-
manacles out of his pack. Goes to bind him.
Offer still stands. I got a med kit here. I can take care of that leg for you. You just
He
need to
ain't
cooperate.
No, he does not take you up on the offer. You slap
Alright.
manacles on him and leave him here?
Sit there being pain. Don't say I didn't try to help you.
The stone door, I have floor written in my notes, but the floor didn't go anywhere, so I'll just correct that real quick. Nobody proofread these. Stone door gives way to a muddy mass of black water and the brick walls open up into a cracked earthen mass of natural stone, from which no small quantity of muck issues forth. You hear mildly conversational croaking noises in the distance on the other side of this brackish water. After about 20 or 30 seconds, you start hearing the groaning of the stone, and the door starts sliding back into place.
Gru holds up a hand, puts finger to his lips, steps through.
Okay.
And at this point, he is going into stealth mode.
Okay.
Red's already through the door. Does the key stay against the door?
No, in fact,
Like,
the door
does it-
starts sliding into the wall, so you have to remove the key to avoid.
And on the
breaking
other
its
side,
bonds.
is there a similar design, or is there any more obvious way to open it?
You're not sure because the door's not closed yet, so you can't see it from the side yet.
Gotta close the door, go look at the other side. Make sure there's not a solution to a puzzle on there.
One of these dungeons, I'm just gonna do that, and actually, I'm pretty sure I have done that at some point.
I'm pretty sure you've done that to us, yeah.
And yeah, right
Move
as
down
the
to
door's
this
closing,
torch.
you can see this mosaic symbol start to come back into view on this side of the door.
Okay.
Gru douses his torch, motions for Adrex to do the same.
When you're going through before the door closes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry,
Red,
I
where
wasn't-
you and Gwu are standing,
Oh.
you see the stone bricks of the floor stop, and the floor becomes just this earthen muck. The water gets deeper here. It's much deeper than the standing water that was in that basement room.
Looking at the wall, does it look like this is the... Do I see any indications, like, from sediment deposits or anything that the water routinely goes higher or lower?
It looks as though this room is capable of completely flooding. And it looks like there's lots of cracks and fissures in the stone that reach deep into the earth beyond. You're kind of in the bottom of this kind of seepage cistern.
And how deep is the water? I can't tell.
Right here, it's not any deeper than your ankles, but you feel your
Okay.
foot kind of sink into the muck a little bit, and you can tell that it gets deeper as you go on. Nobody's carrying a torch right now?
Yeah, it looks like Adrex doused his as well.
Okay. You guys don't see nothing.
Nope.
60
I'll
dark vision.
move forward as quietly as I can.
Okay.
Same.
The water doesn't get deeper than about 1 foot, like a foot deep, but it becomes very difficult to move through. Like, you've got to put some real effort into lifting your feet up out of the mud to take a step. Like, it's sucking at your boots. So these water squares count as difficult terrain.
How weird, and I'm sure probably not relevant.
Move
Also,
to-
Red, as you're moving across, your feet rub up against several dead bodies laying face down in the muck.
Are they humanoid?
You'd have to get down and investigate. I mean, they're humanoid in the
Okay.
sense they have a head and 4 limbs.
Yeah, that was my question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
And they're not like, they're all like human size. They're not like halflings or dwarves or Goliaths.
They're a large cosmopolitan variety of races, just like you'd expect to see in somewhere like the Kovnos.
Okay. Yeah, I'll see if I can see anything around that corner then.
Okay. Red, Raazu, and Windy.
Raazu's dead.
Why are you even here?
I don't know.
Red, Gwu, and Windy, make a stealth check at disadvantage, because it's really difficult to move through this muck without making a lot of noise.
Ah,
Well, do I want the 18 or the 18?
I will take the 21.
That's a 29.
that's an 8. That's an 8.
That's an 8. As you guys approach, and Red's starting to peek around this corner here, Gwu, the muck just grabs your boot and will not let free, and it takes you a good 10 seconds or so. When you pull your foot up, there's a loud sucking noise. The water rushes into the cavity left behind, and the splash of your boot around the corner. And roll initiative.
Son of a bitch. He literally says that.
Who beefs it?
I beefed it. I'm sorry for beefing it.
You beefed it.
I didn't mean to beef it. I'm sorry.
Who
Who's
just
got
took
it?
my dice? Yeah, you deserve that too. Whoever took that.
See, that's +2 to initiative.
Ooh.
It's nice having a dex bonus.
Man, we're kind of tightly coupled here, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
I see you down at 5 there. I know who took my 2.
It wasn't me. It was not me. I rolled a 5. I got no dex bonus.
Red, looking around the corner, you see the cavern continues and then kind of splits off and forks in 2 directions.
Mhm.
And you hear this conversational croaking stop when Gu makes this loud sucking sound with his foot. It just ends.
So are we on initiative now, or
Oh, yeah.
well, Green and Wu go before me.
Yeah, green
Oh,
goes
for some reason I
first.
was thinking you and Gu were different positions. Okay, yeah, Gu, you get to go first. All you know for sure right now is that the conversational croaking has stopped.
No, all you know for sure is that the Kobold is definitely not going to let you live this down.
And I'm guessing this is not a surprise round.
There's no such thing as surprise round in 5e.
Mm. Okay. What do I see when I move there?
You see exactly like I described to Red. The cavern continues around this corner, then forks into 2 directions, heading east and south.
Hmm.
Also, I need to put one more thing on the initiative order here.
I'm gonna move to here.
Wow, we rolled very poorly compared to the monsters this time.
So you're moving up around the corner?
Yeah, moving up right there.
Okay. Red.
Wait. Still. You know what? Active perception.
Okay, go ahead.
Not bad. That's 23.
23, huh? There are indeed shapes in the water in your general vicinity.
Hmm.
And all you can tell for now is that they're shapes.
Bonus action in a rage.
Okay? You get real mad at shapes.
Yeah.
Hate shapes.
I hate shapes.
And that's going to
All
bring
right,
us
so-
to Red.
That's my turn.
Move to here, ready in action to shoot. Pull out my bow.
Okay?
Ready in action to shoot the first thing that gets into melee with Groove that attacks him.
Okay. And that's probably going to happen right now. Let me count squares. Yes, it does.
Are these guys... Oh, I see.
Aha!
Gwoo.
Hey.
One of these creatures leaps out from the water back in this direction and lands in front of you. You see they have no difficulty moving through this treacherous mud. They're small frog creatures, but they're humanoid in the sense that they're carrying weapons. They're carrying these little daggers. Red, when you see this thing leap out and land right next to Gwoo, you immediately know that it's a grung.
Mm-hmm.
And grung are useful because they have poisonous skin
Oh,
that
nice.
can be harvested. And yeah, let's attack Gwoo.
It's always going to happen.
It's inevitable.
Yeah, let's attack Gwoo.
Sure.
I have a 21 to hit.
That hits.
6 points of piercing damage. And please make a Constitution 12 saving throw. Do you get advantage on these and during Barbarian range? Or is it just strength?
Just strength. It's just strength checks.
Oh, it's strength checks, not even saves. Okay.
Yeah, checks and saving throws. I'm sorry.
Okay.
And that fails.
Fails.
Yep.
Pleased to be taking an additional 7 points of poison damage. As this grung lands right next to you and gets you with the leg with this poisonous dagger.
Mhm.
And you hear
And then I
more
shoot it.
splashing on the other side of this rock that you're looking at. As more of these creatures are moving outside of your field of vision. And that does trigger Red's held action.
18 armor class.
18 will hit.
Good thing I hit rage because that does give me resistance to BPS.
Oh no, it hit goo. Whatever shall we do?
That's bold, man.
So that's 21 piercing damage.
21. Okay. And you put an arrow in this grung just as it kind of hits the water in front of Gru and lunges with his dagger. And it's going to bring us to Birdie.
Guys, is something wrong?
You hear lots of splashing and
Stabbing.
Woo
gooing.
yelling.
Cutting
Woo
action
yelling at-
dash.
So when I went to fantasynamegenerators.com, trademark, copyright.
These things are difficult terrain, by the by.
Yes, these squares
Yes.
are difficult terrain. When I went there to
cunning
just
action.
generate the names for all these pirate crewmen, I'm like, Gwu is a really stupid name to try to say, but I'm not. This character's not going to matter, so I'm not actually going to have to say it out loud more than once, probably.
Joke's on you!
Anyway, cutting action dash gets me here.
Mhm.
And I'm going to shoot. If I can
Yeah, you can shoot.
reach that guy. Okay.
You're gonna shoot glue?
Maybe later. Maybe accidentally later. Oh, wrong button. That is a... That is a 21 to hit.
21 hits.
Okay. For... Again, wrong button. Okay. For 19 piercing.
Okay. And you have bloodied this grung as he takes another arrow and starts to rethink his life choices as moving or staying put.
Staying put. I used all my movement, so.
Windy.
Every time you say grung, it sounds faker. I'm going to kick my way out of this water and run along the wall here, flipping over Gwu's head and stabbing down at these grung.
Well, you don't know the green one's there.
But this grung,
The blue one's definitely there, and he's got two. There's not even a lot of like surface area, and he still has two arrows poking out of him.
this extremely stabbed grung here. Blow some wind down on his face. Whoa! How does a... Give me one moment here, because I have a new number. How does a 12 do?
12 does
Thank
not
God.
hit.
How about a 19?
19 will hit.
Think how I feel. I've got all new numbers here.
For 7 slashing magical.
7. And that does not kill him, but he is... Like, if it was any other player but Nodal, I would just be like, yeah, he's dead now. But
That's demonstrably false.
yeah, was that an unarmed attack?
Yeah, no, that was my longsword.
Okay. You chop him mostly in half, but he's not quite dead yet.
Yeah, I missed with the unarmed attack.
Okay.
Only mostly in half.
Only mostly in half. Adrex, you hear lots of splashing and fighting. You can't see anything.
Nope. Alright, and 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. I did it!
Okay, you start slopping your way through this mud and light a torch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does lighting a torch count as an action?
Yeah, I'm gonna say yes because you're gonna have to get the torch out of your pack, strike
Womp
a
womp.
flint, spark it.
All right.
Yeah, that's enough movement to be in action. And if you drop a torch to pull out 2 weapons, it's gonna fall into the water.
Whatever happened to our magical torch?
Wendy has it.
Wendy has it.
The person who doesn't rely on light has it.
This
To
red
be
thing
fair, I
should not
mostly
be
use it to make myself a target.
Okay. Yeah, you light a torch, and you can see in the dim light against the far
Oh,
wall.
I can't. Yeah, never mind.
Companions are
I
fighting
I
something.
actually have to take the attack action. That's right.
What did you do?
Anything
I
else?
had a really.
Strike.
You're
Yeah,
laughing
I had a
really hard, so we've got all our
I
attention.
find him extremely suspicious.
All right.
I had a really funny idea of throwing a javelin at the wall and then using commander strike to let someone else attack. But I've already taken an action, so not
Okay.
happening. That's why I'm laughing.
Windy,
Yeah.
you're billowing, yes?
I'm billowing and I made a punch, so you're shooting at 20.
I actually hit a 20. Well, I hit a 22.